Hey there, Kyle.
Hey, Rachel.
I saw you were running out of coffee, so I thought I'd be proactive and bring you another cup.
Thank you. This is so thoughtful.
Being proactive helps me manage my day as a teacher.
Yeah, management and being proactive is so important. You know, teachers who are in their first year and second year usually struggle with classroom management because they're being too reactive. They're giving out way too many consequences. So how can a teacher take those first steps in being more proactive?
So a new teacher is facing all sorts of unfamiliar situations. And sometimes when something is very new, we act impulsively. And sometimes consequences can come off as illogical. They might be inconsistent. And so a new teacher can do a few different things to make that easier. They can go and watch colleagues, and they can see some of their most successful colleagues manage their classrooms. When they do that, they can see some strategies that might be good for them. They can also become more familiar with the kinds of off-task behaviors students in their classroom and in their school are more likely to engage in, and they can plan for that. One really great way to do that is with a classroom management plan. This is a document where they can predict and consider a lot of the different ways that they're going to respond to student misbehavior so that they can respond in a very logical way when that happens.
Yeah, so observe, personalize it to your classroom, and then write down a plan.
Absolutely.
Great. So we know that sometimes a teacher has to focus their attention in multiple areas. Maybe they need to go help a student with a problem. How can they still be proactive with their classroom management when they are having these competing demands?
Teachers are doing so many different things at once, and they definitely need to work with individual students while monitoring the rest of the class. One really practical way to do this is to angle your body toward the class when you're working with an individual student so that everybody else knows that you're still able to see them, even in your peripheral vision. And that's going to keep them a little more on task than if you had your back turned to them. Another thing that I like to do is work with one individual student, pause for a moment, and praise something that somebody else in the class is doing. I'm not calling anybody out, it's not a desist, I'm pointing out something good. But that's also telling the rest of the students that I'm paying attention to what they're doing, even as I work with this one student. Situational awareness is really key, and knowing what your other students are doing when you work with an individual student is really going to help you manage your class.
Yeah, well, proactivity is such a good thing for a teacher to have, but it's also good for a student. So how can we foster proactivity and self-control within the students?
We can't take it for granted that we might be the only adults who are showing healthy coping mechanisms to our students. And so if we're frustrated by something, we can communicate that, and then we can problem solve and we can handle it in a calm way so that students can see the correct ways of dealing with things that are frustrating or upsetting. Another thing that we can do is praise students for their hard work instead of their concrete success. If they struggle with something, talk to them about their dedication. If they take the high road in an argument, talk to them about doing the right thing. By praising hard work, you're showing that you see this struggle in the journey, and that, you know, by their patience, they are starting to get better at something. And that's great self-control.
Yeah. Well, it looks like you're running a little low on coffee. Why don't I practice my proactivity and go get you a refill?
That would be so nice. Thanks, Kyle.